A year ago, the two teams we're about to watch were here at the state semifinals. Akron St. Vincent-St. Mary fell at the hands of Columbus St. Charles 3-0. Cincinnati Archbishop McNicholas, they hoisted the Division II state championship trophy when all was said and done. Tonight, they face off one against the other for the opportunity to play tomorrow for a state championship. McNicholas looking to win 2 in a row. St. Vincent-St. Mary looking to win it for the first time in 3 seasons being at this event. Pleasant good afternoon, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. Along with Jackie Klein, I'm Chris Solwecki. Jackie, former Ohio State standout and the owner of Elite Volleyball Training Center associated with League One Volleyball. And Jackie, as we look at these two teams, familiar faces on both sides. Some of these kids are back, but some new faces as well. And when you get to an environment like this, having been here before can count for a lot.
Yeah, we called their game last year, and we had a lot of fun. I mean, these guys are animated and entertaining and also really great at volleyball. Their volleyball IQ is very high, which actually has been just amazing me over the years as I watch these guys. And what that's telling you is these guys are doing volleyball more often than just at school. They're probably playing in the off season. They're getting in the sand and taking advantage of all the different volleyball opportunities that this country now has to offer.
These two teams come in. St. Vincent-St. Mary comes in with a record of 19-6. The Rockets are 23-1. They did face each other head-to-head earlier in the season, and St. Vincent-St. Mary's fell to Archbishop McNicholas 3-0, 25-10, 25-12, 25-16. So it looks like on paper the Irish have their work cut out for them, but as we know, you don't play games on paper, you play them right here in the gymnasium.
Right, and the Irish, I talked to the coaches before this, and they said this season they've either been feeling the pressure or applying the pressure, and hopefully today they can come out and apply the pressure needed to not only punch their ticket to that state championship final match that's tomorrow, but maybe walk home with a trophy.
Mason Winters was the Division II Region 6 All-Region First-Team player. This is a guy who's been with this team for 3 years now, and as a senior would love nothing more than to hoist the trophy. He is kind of the engine that makes this team go.
Right, and then McNicholas, the Rockets, we're going to be calling Gavin Gerhardt's name a lot today. He's their outside hitter, also a senior, 6'4". He wears number 4 on his jersey. I mean, Region A Player of the Year. His key stats is he's got over 1,000 career kills. And we're also going to talk a lot about Ethan Gundrum. He's in the middle. We called his name a lot last year. He does a great job of being available in the middle and being a threat whenever possible.
He has 1,000 career assists. Kevin Kaser has 1,000 career digs to go along with Gerhardt's 1,000 career kills. So it's like a three-headed monster of sorts, each an expert in their own area.
Yeah, it's going to be real fun to watch them as they pursue for this journey of going to that state finals tomorrow here at Wittenberg.
The officials for this afternoon's match are as follows. Referee number 1 up on the ladder is Dan Literal. Referee number 2 on the floor is Joe Bisek. Eva Stebble is one of the line judges, along with Todd Farrow as the other line judge. The official scorer is Mike Chandler, and the assistant scorer is Debbie Keller. The first two that we saw in Division I today, absolutely outstanding. In the first semifinal matchup, Thomas Worthington knocked off their opponent and made punch their ticket to the state championship tomorrow at noon. They will square off against what was just an incredible matchup that we saw just a little while ago. They will get to square off against, help me out.
St. Ignatius.
St. Ignatius, yeah, out of Cleveland, who was in the championship game last year and lost to St. Xavier. This year, they were able to reverse that trend, and they punched their ticket to that place. We got a lot more to talk about, but before we do any of that, we're going to ask you to just step aside with us as we honor America for the playing and singing of our national anthem. Our national anthem from Pam Evans Smith Arena on the campus of Wittenberg University with Jackie Klein. I'm Chris Solwecki. And Jackie, when you get to Division II, you sometimes think of a little bit smaller group of players, and yet, as the old Sesame Street song goes, one of these things is not like the others. Number 27, Big John Wharton, 6 foot 10 inches. He's going to be a difference. If he's a difference maker, he could be a huge difference maker in this matchup.
Yeah, we didn't see him last year, and so we're excited to see what maybe his role is in this match. But both these teams, really the Division II is determined based on how many gentlemen are in the school. So, I mean, in the girls' game, there's 7 divisions.
Right.
But here in the guys, since it's a newer thing to OHSAA, they only have 2. But I fully expect this to continue to grow. And the biggest thing we need to continue to do here, at least in Ohio, is keep introducing the game of volleyball to boys younger and younger. If they can be put into a feeder program at 12, they're going to be even better when they get to this stage by the time they're in high school.
Starting lineups for today's matchup, starting with St. Vincent-St. Mary. Number 3, Nate Sparhawk. Number 6, Dev Brickman. Number 11, Glory Sir. Number 12, Jaden Jacobs. Number 15, Noah Dunbar. Number 19, Moo Thaw. And number 21, Mason Winters. The St. Vincent-St. Mary's Irish are coached by Logan Jennings. For the Archbishop McNicholas team, number 1, Kevin Kaser. Number 3, Aiden Williams. Number 4, Gavin Gerhart. Number 7, Ben Jones. Number 8, Carson Tierney. Number 11, Jay Clifton. Number 15, Ethan Gundrum. And the head coach for Archbishop McNicholas is Connor Gaines. First serve by Akron St. Vincent-St. Mary's goes out of bounds, and so it's an unforced error to get started. McNicholas has the lead 1-0, and they have the serve as well. Jump received back by Winters. Back set to Winters. He swings hard. It's off the touch. Kept alive. Good set. Back row swing into the block and down. Great job in the middle by number 15 at that time, Noah Dunbar.
So I expect that for the Fighting Irish, the gentleman that is serving right now is going to receive the ball an awful lot. Mason Winters, he was a major part of the team last year, really contributed. I actually got a chance to watch him in a club tournament, and he just continues to get better. So as you can see, he's doing a great job even from the service line.
He got the serve there. His team trails 2-1, but another serve coming from Mason Winters. Received short, picked up. Into the block. Quick set in the middle. Winters. Another quick set. This time it's dug down from the other side. Nicely done. As that time it was number 3, Nate Sparhawk. Sparhawk and Noah Dunbar look to be a double threat there in the front row.
Sparhawk has some major jumps. We just saw him reach over the height of the net. His hand was almost at the top of the antenna.
It's a good swing back row. Winters comes up with it outside. Little roll shot across. Back row. No touch, out of bounds. An unforced swing by Gavin Gerhart. And the Irish are out to an early 4-1 lead.
And applying pressure, right? That's what they talked about. We were either applying pressure or feeling the pressure. And they're definitely doing a great job of working it as a team, applying that pressure and getting the ball inbounds.
Winters served that one off the top of the net. It went across, but able to be received by the Rockets, and this time the Rockets able to finish a point. They trail 4-2 as the serve comes back to their side. It'll be number 8, Carson Tierney, to do the honors. Tierney skips forward, sent it to the back corner. Winters comes up with it, set to the outside. Big elevation and a big swing. Number 11, Glory Sir with a big swing.
Glory Sir coming in fast. That ball hit the floor really quick. He saw that hole in the block and took advantage of it.
Now Moo Thaw. Quick in the middle. Off the touch and down. There for the block that time was number 12, Jaden Jacobs, but he couldn't keep it in play. So back to the Rockets. St. Vincent-St. Mary leads at 5-3. Set near, and that's good placement once again. That's number 12, Jaden Jacobs.
He did a great job of being available, open to the setter. So if you're a middle attacker and you're running that 31, even if you're running a 1, it's important that your entire body is open to the setter. That gives that setter a lot of room to get you that ball so you can swing fast.
Nate Sparhawk with the serve, but the Rockets have the answer that time. Aiden Williams with the kill in the middle. As the ball comes back to the Rockets, they trail 6-4. To the serving line for McNicholas is number 7, Ben Jones. McNicholas looking to make it back-to-back state championships. To do that, though, they have to get past the Irish and then win again tomorrow. There's a bump to keep it alive. Free ball does not touch the scoreboard, which is perilously low here at Pam Evans Smith Arena. There's a swing that goes down in play, and the point will go to the McNicholas Rockets.
You know, we always talk about that scoreboard being low, and honestly, in the past three years, we haven't really seen very much action with that scoreboard until that last match we were just in, and it got involved. But these guys do a good job of taking care of that first ball so it doesn't go really high.
Back set, dug up. Back set again with a slip. That one's blocked, but they're going to keep it alive. Trying to get it across, and they're unable to do it that time. There was a slip there by number 10, Shelton Eldevante. Or Eldevante Shelton, I should say.
And I think Muthaw freaked out a little bit. He's a libero. He's not allowed to attack the ball in front of the 10-foot line. He really didn't know how to handle it. He should have just set it over, but he just second-guessed himself.
Set to the outside. It's a big swing in the middle, and there's a swing and a miss, if you will, by Eldevante Shelton.
That is the right play, though. He should have tried to attempt to hit that ball on the second play. But McNicholas is doing a great job of just keeping this serve inbounds and putting that pressure on those seams.
Ben Jones with the serve, set. A little roll shot across. Good dig. Outside, pushed down the line, not out of bounds. Touch is called. So it'll remain Rockets ball as their advantage is now 2, 8-6.
So it's important that the Fighting Irish here just settle in. They just need to settle for this serve receive. You don't have to be perfect. Just passing the ball on the 10-foot line, the setter can do something with that.
Set to the outside by Sparhawk. A swing and another miss. That's a foul ball, if you will, off the hands of number 12, Jaden Jacobs. So a couple of unforced errors by the Irish put them in the behind the 8 ball, so to speak, 9-6.
Now, this has been a pretty big run here. However, we're only 3 points difference, so it's important that Ben Jones stays back there and stays consistent and doesn't make a service error.
Muthaw almost helped him out, but he pulled his hands down at the last minute, so the point goes to the Irish, as does the serve, and Glory Sir will go to the serving line. Sir with a jump serve, too strong.
So we're going to see 3 different serves from these guys, a standing serve, a jump float serve, and a jump topspin. So standing serves and jump float serves are easier to get in bounds, where you can see right here this jump topspin. He's got to put a lot of speed on that ball to get it in bounds.
As Gavin Gerhardt, who hit the ball with authority on the swing on the other side, Mason Winters sends it too long, so Gerhardt will have another opportunity to serve, and he's got that high toss, jump, backspin serve. And that one goes just out.
So when you're doing a serve like that, the jump topspin, you really have to be serving it over 54 miles per hour for it to be really effective. But you also have to get it in bounds. And so it's really helpful if you can jump really high, because then now it's more of a downward trajectory. But there's more errors involved with that serve.
Caw Hay with the serve for the Irish. Bumper for Winters, keeps it very close to the antenna. In fact, he can't get it inside the antenna, so the point goes to McNicholas. Their lead is now 4, 12-8.
And St. Vincent-St. Mary's was worried about that. They didn't understand why that was called out of bounds. But if the ball travels over the top of the antenna, it's an immediate foul or fault, so it will be called out of bounds, which the line judge did call that right away.
The serve coming from Aiden Williams. There's a big swing and down and in. Mason Winters comes up with a point there. Nicely done.
I think this match is going to come down to consistency. Who can consistently just keep the ball in bounds? and limit those errors. A lot of times with guys volleyball, there's just a lot of muscle involved. And so keeping it in bounds is important, especially when you're down.
Dev Brickman with the serve, and he sends it too long. It goes out of play. McNicholas leads by 4, 13-9. And to the serving line goes number 15, Ethan Gundrum. Gundrum was with this team a year ago. Looks like he's gotten a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, as is often the case, and he's got an ace right there.
And I made a mistake earlier that he was playing middle. He's a right side attacker when he's front row. When he's back row, he's a setter. So they're running a 6-2 offense. And I love the 6-2 offense. There's, pluses and minuses to both,
sure.
A 5-1 or a 6-2, but the 6-2 does give you more hitting options, and so I'm all for it.
Now, the simple explanation of a 6-2 versus a 5-1 is that in a 6-2 you have 2 setters, in a 5-1 you have 1, but explain with a little more nuance what the benefits are for each.
Sure, so in a 6-2 you have 2 different setters. Anytime they go to the back row, they become the setter for the time being, okay? And that allows the front row to have both a right side and an outside pin hitter. In a 5-1, when the setter rotates into the front row, she has to set, and so there really isn't a right side option, and you have to rely more on your back row attack or your middle doing a slide. Now, in the guys' game, they don't usually do slides, so it's more back row attacks, Bics and Ds, so that's the gist of a 5-1 or 6-2.
Quick on the outside. Good swing and down. That's well done by Nate Sparhawk. Sparhawk's second kill in 3 attempts.
Now it's interesting because the Fighting Irish are also running a 6-2. So Sparhawk, when he's in the back row, is setting, but now he's in the front row, so he's an offensive weapon either on the outside pin or the right side pin.
Quick one in the middle, and that finds the back row. Good set, good swing. And to the serving line now goes number 8, Carson Tierney. McNicholas leads it by 5, 15-10. Tierney floats one forward. Winters set to the outside. Big swing, touch. So the point will go to the Fighting Irish. Cuts their deficit to just 4. And to the serving line is number 19, Mu Thaw, excuse me. Floater to the outside. Oh, what elevation and a swing by Gavin Gerhardt.
We featured him earlier as the player to watch, and that's why. He's rarely smart when it comes to this game. He knew he could swing there, but he didn't give it its full potential because it was inside.
The libero is Kevin Kaiser. He's the server. Here they come on the attack are the Rockets, and that ball is hit into the net by Gerhardt. So it comes back to St. Vincent-St. Mary. They trail 16-12, and Nate Sparhawk is back to the serving line. High toss, big swing, dug out, sent across, dunked down, but able to be kept alive, and now it's going to be a free ball across again on a little dink set to the backside. Into the block, hustling, but unable to come up with it. It was a great swing by Glory Sir. It just was right into the block, and they couldn't recover.
St. Vincent, St. Mary, they've got the effort. I mean, they're working hard. They seem to be getting along really well together, but we're just seeing the Rockets right now being a little bit more consistent on their swings and making good choices.
It's a really good set. Back set to Glory Sir, but again, Sir hits it into the block, and it is sent right back.
I would expect part of the game plan for the Rockets is to stay planted on Glory Sir. He's got a fast arm swing, so now he's on the right side, so they're going to just give in and move that way.
Bump set to the outside by Kaiser. Big swing, and it's down. Ethan Gundrum sends one home. McNicholas leads it now 19-12. He spins it in his hands a couple of times, takes the skip forward and jumps. Back set, a little confusion, and this time it goes out of bounds. So the set Looked like it was for an outside approach, and coming inside instead was Glory Sir.
Just a little bit of a miscommunication, but honestly, they shouldn't start getting fancy. Stay simple. Just continue to deliver a hittable ball. Get your hitters an option to be able to hit line or cross. That's the goal.
Trying to free it across, and they do. Nice job by Akron St. Vincent-St. Mary to hang with it. There's a quick one in the middle, and it's down.
Jaden Jacobs, sophomore middle blocker. You know, he's young, and you can kind of see it in his step and how he carries himself, but that's okay. These guys have got him. Mason Winters is right next to him, encouraging him along the way. And when you block like that, it's only up from there.
There's a big one that comes down right in front of Sparhawk. So 21-13 is our score. McNicholas has the advantage, and they have the serve. Gavin Gerhardt to do the honors. A high toss, Gerhardt with the approach. Trying to receive it is Sir, unable to do so. Hit his arms and went to the right, out of bounds. Obviously, volleyball, like any other sport, a mental game as much as it is a physical one. And this is a team that struggled against McNicholas earlier in the year and now seems to be a little bit down on this one. That serve goes out of bounds.
So
Gerhardt
just
with an
seeing
unserved
tendencies. He served the first one great, the second one went out of bounds, and then he repeated that the next time he was up to serve. So it's a mental game, even from the service line. It's a closed chain skill. You have to be able to toss a ball and get it in.
Caw Hay serving for the Irish to the outside. That's into the block, and it actually goes into the tape, so it becomes 4 hits. A good effort that time by Carson Tierney, but he couldn't clear it. Hay coming up with another serve. Jumper off the tape. Quick in the middle, good dig. Winters. Set to the outside. Gundrum into the block and down. Dunbar there for the block.
Great blocking technique. He went up, he pressed over, pressed back towards the middle of the court and took up a lot of space. And that allowed the blocker or the hitter to hit right at him, putting that ball right down to the floor.
Gundrum again, this time he's out of bounds, couldn't quite paint the line, so the ball comes back to the Irish, 22-17. McNick on top. And it'll be Caw Hay to serve it again. It's got a little rhythm going here. Big swing, that's out of bounds. No touch. And a timeout will be taken by the Rockets as they had a convincing lead. It is a little less convincing, 23-17, after the Irish have run off several in a row. And that's the thing. When you climb back in, especially with rally scoring, you don't have to get them all at once, obviously. You just do the best you can. Caw Hay has kept the ball between the lines and allowed McNicholas to make some mistakes.
I agree. So consistency is the name of the game with these two teams. You see them do great things, and then you see them do bad things. And if you live in the middle and you're able to score those 3-point runs, then you usually end up on top. And so you have to remember these guys are high schoolers, anywhere from freshmen to seniors, 14 to 18 years old. This is a learning environment, so a mistake is a learning opportunity, and honestly, how you handle that mistake and move on to the next one is the most important thing.
Out of the timeout, Hay back to the serving line. He's got a 5-0 run going on right now. Big touch. Great job keeping it alive is Glory Sir, and now Winters sends it across, but right into the block and back down. So side out goes back to the Rockets. They lead 22-18. And it'll be Aiden Williams to serve for McNicholas, the Rockets. Williams wears number 3. He's got a kill and an error on 5 attempts. He also has a block. Serves Sir in the middle. Quick one. Thrown down. There's a point for St. Vincent-St. Mary as Noah Dunbar comes through.
I like Noah Dunbar. He's doing a lot of work in the front row. I think they need to get him involved a little bit more. Even right now, take the risk. Set the ball to the middle. If it's a good pass, run that 3, run that 1, and see if they can get the ball to McNicholas a little bit faster.
Dev Brickman to serve for the Irish, the toss. And Another unforced error. He just sent it right of the line and out of bounds.
Number 15, Ethan Gundrum.
So Gundrum back to the serving line for the Rockets, and this is set point for McNicholas, 24-19. High toss. Dug out. And that's going to be a double on a mishit ball. And that is how set number one comes to a close. So the Rockets got out early fast. St. Vincent-St. Mary tried to climb their way in, came in a little bit short. But set number two is on the other side, and anything can happen then. McNicholas 1, St. Vincent-St. Mary nothing. More to come after this timeout. You're watching Championship Volleyball on the NFHS Network and listening on the OHSAA Radio Network.
Holton USA is proud to
Back on April 12th, these two teams met, and in the first set, Archbishop McNicholas won 25-10. In the first set today, McNicholas still won, but it was a much closer score, 25-19, so perhaps that's something to build off of if you're the St. Vincent-St. Mary Irish, who are down 1-0 but certainly have shown some improvement in the last month or so.
I don't think we got to see the strengths of either team right in that last set. It may be nerves, it may be adrenaline. I know for sure it's serve receive, so either side has to take care of that first ball contact for them to be able to show off their offensive weapons. And maybe that'll happen in this next set. But both teams, looking at McNicholas, they hit 0, and St. Vincent-St. Mary hit negative .074. So that's telling you there's not a lot of attacking going on, and if there is, there's quite a few errors that are happening.
Yeah, to your point, McNicholas 9 kills and 9 errors, which puts them at that 0 score. McNicholas to serve. That one is swung and driven right back in, so an overpass of sorts, and then the Rockets able to put a finish on that as Gavin Gerhardt goes up and hammers it home.
I like how you said of sorts, because I tell my athletes all the time in volleyball there's either good, there's bad, or there's weird. And weird happens about 80% of the time, so you just got to be able to roll with the weird, and that's what happened right there.
So Carson Tierney continues to serve for the Rockets. His team leads early in second set, 1-0. This one is deep and long, and so we're tied up, 1 apiece. Side out to St. Vincent-St. Mary, and to the serving line will go number 6, Dev Brickman. Nate Sparhawk was 2 of 3 in attacks for St. Vincent-St. Mary. Noah Dunbar, 1 of 2. They were the only 2 with positive attack averages in that first set. There's one down the line, but out of play. So the point will go to St. Vincent-St. Mary. They lead at 2-1. Brickman to serve it again. And that one goes beyond the line, so another service error. We're tied at 2.
Well, I think the good thing is they're both kind of trading errors, so there isn't one team that's capitalizing on the other, which, we want someone to capitalize, but right now they're pretty much neck and neck in errors.
Kevin Kaiser had to serve. Somehow they kept that ball elevated. Back set, Sparhawk sends it across. To the outside. Big swing, great dig. Quick one, no, that's going to be a double. So Dev Brickman gets called for the illegal touch.
Dev Brickman's a freshman setter, and he'll probably learn that high balls like that, you have to use your forearms because your hands tend to, it just hurts, it's hard.
Not a great pass that came from Hay, and again, Brickman couldn't do much with it, so the freshman being challenged here in set number 2 a little bit. His team trails 4-2. Kevin Kaiser continues to serve for McNicholas. Hay comes up with it. There's a good one to the outside. Sparhawk into the block, and that thing goes into the stands. It was hit so hard.
Yeah, and that's a great set, but it all started with a great pass. So taking that ball and at least just making it consistent and simple, giving hitters options was great. So taking care of business.
Mason Winters to serve, serves middle back. A little tight at the net, but they are able to manage. That's a great play in the middle to keep things alive for Noah Dunbar. There's a side out for the Rockets. Ben Jones to the serving line. Jones with approach. Winters. Brickman to the outside. Glory Sir with a good swing. Sir keeps it in play, right back to him. Roll shot across, they keep it alive again, do the Rockets from the back row. It's going to be a free ball. Winters, Brickman, middle. Tossed down, nicely done. That was number 15, Noah Dunbar.
And that's the type of rally we want to see. We want to keep the ball alive. Neither team really hit the ball at a fast pace, but they kept it in play, communicated well with their teammates.
Glory Sir with the serve. Dinked across. Bump set. Sparhawk into the block. Kaiser. Gundrum sends it across. Here come the attack. Winter from the back row sends it across. Kaiser to the outside. Good set. That one's kept alive. Bounces off the apparatus up in the ceiling, but they're going to go ahead and play it. Sparhawk sends it across. Kaiser. Back set. Big swing, and that's down. Goodness gracious. Gavin Gerhard with a big swing for the point.
Yeah, Gavin Gerhard likes that ball high and tight to the net, and if he gets an opportunity, he's going to swing hard and fast. And those out-of-system sets, the Rockets have been doing a good job on out-of-system, getting those tight for him so he can handle them.
Now he's serving, and he sends it just long. And out of play, so the point comes back to St. Vincent-St. Mary. They trail by 1, and Sparhawk goes to the serving line. So good job by St. Vincent-St. Mary climbing back in, and now Sparhawk has a chance to tie it at least. But instead he serves it into the net, side out to the Rockets. They lead by 2. Aiden Williams, number 3, steps up. He's got a kill and an error on 6 attacks. 1 dig and 3 blocks. Middle back, Hay, Winters. Glory Sir, good dig in the back row. Bumper to the far side. It's going to be a free one across by Gundrum. Sir, quick in the middle. Can they play it off the net? They cannot, and now we've got a whistle.
So the Rockets were in the net, yeah. So the down official, that's their job. Their job is to watch the net and watch the line. They don't watch the ball. That's the up official's job. And so anytime someone touches the net, it's a fault and is called immediately.
We talked about it earlier, but these officials are chosen over the course of a season through evaluations given by coaches as well as evaluators whose job it is to do that. There's one into the block, and the point will go back to the Irish. So a couple of mistakes by the McNicholas team now has given the Irish a tie, and to the serving line is number 11, Glory Sir. Sir with toss. Good serve, dug in the back row. Gerhardt. We've got a net violation this time against the Irish, and that's number 10. That's Eldevante Shelton. So now Ethan Gundrum to serve. McNicholas leads by 1. High toss, big swing. Good dig in the back by Hay. Back set, tossed across, nicely done. Eldevante Shelton didn't try to do too much with it. Hay to the serving line for the Irish. Skims the net. Back row, off the touch. Good job keeping it alive back there by Glory Sir. Winters off the top of the net, goes across. Kaser with the bump set, swung from way off the net, into the block and down, and a good job there by number 8, Carson Tierney, taking a little something off. That was the difference in that play.
It was, because the hang time wasn't there anymore. The ball actually came down on the hands of Noah Dunbar, and he carried it with him, and that's actually a legitimate philosophy or strategy at the guys' game.
Carson Tierney to serve. Sparhawk to the outside. Winter. Good job going up. Kind of reached behind himself. The ball was a little behind him, but a good job hitting it and keeping it in play.
Yeah, and Sparhawk was trying to be tricky there. He tried to make it look like he was setting the middle by keeping his back to the nets and did a fancy side set, and that's why it went a little bit far, but it was a very good set.
So Devontae Sheltonell. I've been saying his name wrong. I apologize for that. Off the touch. Unable to come up with it is Muthaw, and the point goes back to the Rockets. I should say the serve goes back to the Rockets. We are tied at 9. Excuse me, 10-9 McNicholas. Kevin Kaser to the serving line. Sir with reception, set to the outside. Sparhawk up and down, big swing.
Big down the line shot. He saw that opening, and that's that. We went back. Need to go back to, like, how do you set somebody on the outside? You need to deliver a smooth ball that the hitter has the option to hit line or cross. If they have to tap into their toolbox of a tip or a roll shot, they also have that to take advantage of.
That off the scoreboard, so the point goes to the Irish. Sparhawk, by the way, 4 kills, no errors on 7 attacks, so he's hitting .571 for St. Vincent-St. Mary. Very efficient. Mason Winters. Big set, Gundrum. Good dig to the outside. Glory Sir into the touch and down, and the Irish have a little momentum.
Great first ball contacts. If I were the Rockets, I would have gone to Gavin Gerhardt too. Just St. Vincent-St. Mary's is taking care of that dig and turning it into an attack.
12-10, St. Vincent-St. Mary's has the lead. McNicholas takes the timeout. So all weekend long, volleyball aplenty here at Pam Evans Smith Arenas. The Division I championship is already set. Division II is underway. The winner of this one between St. Vincent-St. Mary and the Rockets of McNicholas will play the winner of our second semifinal matchup. And we've talked about a little bit, Jackie, throughout the course of today already, but just talk a little bit about the wildfire, which is boys and girls volleyball in the state of Ohio, how fast it's growing, and if you have a child that would like to be a part of it, how they might do that.
Well, with the OHSAA taking on boys volleyball and sanctioning the sport as an OHSAA sport has really helped. Schools are picking up the game and starting it earlier. Would love to see guys starting the game at 12 and not just being introduced to it as a freshman. It would really help with their volleyball IQ when they get there. So if you have a son or a daughter that's looking to get involved, there's so many different avenues for volleyball indoor and in the sand for people to enjoy.
That goes into the block and down, and the Irish are smoking right now. They lead it by 4, 14-10. And of course, if you're in the right region or right vicinity, you could always check out Elite Volleyball Training Center to learn a little bit more about how your son or daughter could get involved in that program. Jackie is the co-founder and co-owner. There's a nice answer by Aiden Williams.
That's the first time we've seen him bring out his gun and swing hard and fast there. Taking advantage of that cross-court shot that was open. There was a big hole in the block for him.
Ben Jones with a serve. He hits Winter to the outside. Kaiser comes up with it. Set to the outside. Big swing across, and that's in. Muthal tried to get out of the way. In fact, he did get out of the way, but there's no way this is going to be stopped by Gavin Gerhardt. That ball was in.
So Gavin Gerhardt has 21, probably 22, because they haven't posted the stat yet, attempts already. So I think the tendency is it's going to go to Gavin Gerhardt. So the Fighting Irish need to almost commit to wherever he's at and standing.
Set to the outside. Glory serve right into the block. Ethan Gundrum.
Yeah, and just to flip that around, Glory Sir has 14 attempts, and he's carrying the highest attempts on the team. And so spreading that offense out is going to help limit the defense on the other side.
There's Sir, got to keep it close. He does, but unable to do anything with it is number 15, Noah Dunbar. It was a good one-handed set, but it was really close to the net. And a timeout taken by the Irish as they've seen their lead evaporate. We are tied at 14. The Rockets and the Irish from Wittenberg University, Springfield, Ohio. Semifinal matchup number 1.
So if I were these coaches right now, the conversation I would be having, honestly, with both teams is we can't make errors. The other team is making enough errors that we should be capitalizing on those points. If anything, just keep the ball in bounds. We don't have to hit it hard. We just have to be smart with our shots. We need to have hittable balls coming from our setters, and we definitely have to take care of that first ball contact. Whether it's a pass or a dig, the ball has to go straight up. It does not have to be perfect. It just needs to be a ball that somebody can set to a hitter.
The second game of our doubleheader is Macedonia-Nordonia and Mount Vernon. That one's scheduled to start around 6 p.m. This one got a late start because the one right before it went 5 sets and was a dandy. Sparhawk sends it over. The Rockets able to control it. Sparhawk again goes up with the second ball and scores the point.
So St. Vincent-St. Mary switched their offense. They went to a 5-1 in that scenario. Sparhawk was front row, so instead of setting the ball, he decided to dump both of them, but he could have easily delivered the ball to a hitter there also.
Muthal with the serve. A little bit of an adjustment on the attack by Gerhard. That ball's going to hit the top and hit the antenna. Actually, a rocket went under the net, so it'll be St. Vincent-St. Mary's ball.
So usually they let those under calls go if your foot is over the line a little bit, but as soon as something crosses under the net and it causes a safety hazard, it's called right away, point for the other team.
Into the block and out of bounds. Good swing by Ethan Gundrum. One thing I noticed, and I don't know if it's a big deal or not, but McNicholas has only played 7 players thus far. St. Vincent-St. Mary about 11. So depth of bench, will that play into things if we go far enough, you think?
Well, I mean, personally, it's a high school sport, so I tend to play more players, give people more opportunities. But definitely with 7 players, if they're your key guys, let's just keep them in and win. You got to get to the finals, and you got to get past this team to do that.
No question about it. Sir with the swing. Kaiser comes up with it. There's one off the touch. Great effort over in the corner by Muthal, but he can't come up with it. And the point goes to the Rockets. We're tied at 16 with Gavin Gerhardt going to the serving line. High toss, navigates that line, and that's nicely done just to keep it alive, but unable to keep it in the court of play. So good second effort by Jaden Jacobs, but the ball goes out of play, and it'll be back to McNicholas. They lead it now 17-16.
But what a difference with Gavin Gerhardt getting the ball inbounds. I mean, that sounds silly. Of course, an error isn't good, but you have to be consistent and get it in, especially if you're one of the threats. And you know he's a threat when he's hitting from the front row or attacking from the back row, but now that threat has to be there from the service line.
Second serve goes into the net, so we're tied at 17 with the serve coming back to St. Vincent-St. Mary and Nate Sparhawk. Sparhawk, 5 kills on 9 attempts, but this serve goes out of bounds. It's the 7th service error for St. Vincent-St. Mary's versus 6 for Archbishop McNicholas.
If I was coaching right now, I would say stay on the ground and get it in. I mean, not to the point of doing an underhand serve, but that's 3 service errors right in a row, and that's 3 points that were given up.
Yeah. Aiden Williams did stay on the floor. It didn't help him. He hit it into the net. So we're tied at 18. Glory Sir with the serve, and he sends it too long, and right now it's an exercise in futility to get the ball between the white lines.
So another strategy is you serve cross court just because that's your longest distance of error. So scooting closer to the corner of the court and serving to the opposite corner is not a bad idea.
Gundrum with the jump serve, and he'll send it way too long. So we're tied again, 19-19. Back into the matchup is number 15, Noah Dunbar. He's a spark plug on that front row. To the serving line, Caw Hay. Where's number 20? Hay into the net. Goodness gracious.
Just back and forth here on service errors. Usually in the men's game, it's serve aces, back and forth serve aces.
Right.
But
St. Vincent-St. Mary's takes a timeout, and probably appropriate just to try to get some rhythm. I mean, it's 20-10. McNicholas has the lead. They're down to their final 5 points, and the Irish have squandered, as has McNicholas, the last several opportunities to put any points on the board.
right, and that takes kind of the fun out of the game. The fun is the rallies. The fun is the making great digs and great plays. So getting the ball in bounds and serving is important. You just can't do it so soft that it becomes a free ball. So there is that middle ground of, yes, get it in, but we don't want Gavin Gerhardt drilling down our throat either.
Fair enough. Lots of fun on the floor for these players. They're happy to be here, not just happy to be here. They want to see something happen, but you perhaps caught on camera number 15, Noah Dunbar, having a little dance on the middle of the Wittenberg Tigers volleyball court. To the serving line, number 8, Carson Tierney. Skips forward, floats it gently. We got it across. Now we'll see what happens. Sparhawk sets it to the backside. It's into the block and out of bounds. That's going to be a point. Devontae Shelton L comes up with the point. We're tied at 20.
He did a good job of actually finding hands on purpose. Knowing that the hands were turned facing outside, he took advantage of them and hit it right out of bounds off the hands.
And then Shelton L turns around and serves it out of bounds. So McNicholas leads 21-20. They have the serve, Kevin Kaser, to do the honors. The libero for the Rockets. Skips forward. Good serve. Sir comes up with it. Back set, Winters. Big swing. Kaser tried to get it. Sent it out of bounds, and so it comes right back to St. Vincent-St. Mary's.
And we haven't seen him hit a ball in a while, Winters. So that's just showing you how much this game has been back on the back line, because we haven't even seen the set go to the best hitter over on St. Vincent-St. Mary's side yet.
There's a tough set really close to the net by Dev Brickman. Unable to do much with it was Glory Sir, and the point goes to the Rockets. Now McNicholas needs just 3. They lead 22-21. This has been back and forth, but it's been back and forth somewhat in an exercise of just getting the ball inside the lines. And there's one that does. Sir with reception. Back row, Winters, big swing. Off the block, out of bounds. Kaser tried to dig it up, couldn't do it. And we are tied at 22.
I would lean on my senior leadership if I was St. Vincent-St. Mary's and just get Winters the ball and let him make those choices of where to put it.
Muthal with the serve. Set to the outside. Gundrum, big swing and down.
So Gundrum, we talked earlier about he's the setter when he's in the back row, but he's a hitter when he's in the front row. And he was in left front there and stayed there, where typically he would move to the right side and hit on the weak side behind the setter.
Winter with the reception. Brickman sets it backwards. Sparhawk sends it across. Back set. Gundrum. Brickman comes up with it. Second ball. Sparhawk down the line, but out of play. And now it is set point for McNicholas, 24-22. Gavin Gerhardt. Looking to give his team a 2-0 advantage in this best-of-5 set. Good reception, but it goes out of bounds. And set number 2 goes to McNicholas, 25-22. And they leave the match 2-0. 25-19, 25-22, set number 3. On the other side of this timeout, you're watching Championship Volleyball on the NFHS Network and listening on the OHSAA Radio Network. Archbishop McNicholas out of Cincinnati takes the first 2 sets of this best-of-5 match, 25-19, 25-22 against St. Vincent-St. Mary's of Akron, and so the Irish have some work to do. Every set is a must-win or their season will come to an end tonight, and McNicholas will punch their ticket for tomorrow's championship game against a team still to be determined. Macedonia Nordonia or Mount Vernon. We'll see them a little later on. Right now, though, we want to finish up with these 2 teams, and the Rockets certainly finished up on a strong note, 3-0 scoring run, and you talk about the 2 Gs, Gerhard and Gundrum. That's how this team goes.
I agree. Those are the 2 guys that are going to get set, but even looking statistically at both teams here, they're pretty even, and unfortunately, things aren't looking so good for either team. They've got to pick it up. Typically, you want to hit about a 300 hitting percentage, and both teams are at .091. So it goes back to the errors we were talking about, or not even the opportunity to get it, because what did they do? They missed a lot of serves at the back line, not even allowing them to run an offense at all.
18 service errors between the 2 teams thus far. Served by Sparhawk, and there's a big swing and down for the Rockets. Goodness gracious. Number 11, Jay Clifton, puts one home.
If I was captain of these teams, I would be in the huddle prior to this 3rd set going, come on, guys, we can do better than this.
Right.
Let's go ahead and start turning it on.
Gundrum sends one short. Back set. Good try by Winter. Can they keep it alive? They cannot. It's a great effort by Carson Tierney onto the table and across the way, but he couldn't come up with it. Sorry, that's number 6. That's Jack Sampson. Newly inserted into the match. 1-1. Mason Winter to serve it again. There's the toss. Winter down the line, dug up. Quick one. Pushed across. They keep it alive. Good job by Winter. Ellen Short. Back set. Into the block. Trying to keep it alive. And we've got a whistle. 4 hits. The ball didn't clear the paint, or the tape, I should say. And so the point goes to St. Vincent-St. Mary, leading 2-1. Winter skips forward. Good serve. Just clears the net. Quick one in the middle. And that's in. So Jay Clifton with another big kill. Clifton now with 5 kills on 8 attacks, 2 errors, hitting .375 for the match.
And he stays in front of the setter. He either runs a 1, which is a quick set that's right in front of the setter, or a 31, which is about 10 to 15 feet away in front of the setter.
Back set. Good dig. Sparhawk, back set. Swings across, and it's down. Good swing by St. Vincent-St. Mary's Devontae Sheltonell.
Taking care of that first ball contact. Both sides are doing better at that roll right now. They're also doing much better of getting their serves in.
Smooth thaw from the serving line. That one gets overpass. The Irish are there to block it and send it back, and so the Irish get the point. They lead 4-2. It's early, but got to like their energy here in set number 3 of a must-win situation. Thaw. Good reception outside. Big swing off the shoulder of Mason Winters. Goodness gracious, Gavin Gerhardt.
He's laughing. Mason Winters, he's a funny guy. He's laughing because it just came so fast it went right off his shoulder.
Just can't move from a ball that's going that fast. Kaser with the serve. Back set. Trying to keep it alive to the outside. Up and down. What a swing by Gavin Gerhardt.
Same situation with Gavin Gerhardt. That location was perfect for him. Right in front of him, close to the pin, tight to the net. He had a whole bunch of options of how he could have gotten a kill there.
Good set by Gundrum. Gerhardt finished it. Back row, Winters. Trying to keep it alive. Gerhardt throws it into the block and out of bounds.
Very purposeful there. That's called a wipe. He went in, purposefully pushed the ball into the block and then swiped it away, pushing it out of bounds and scoring off of the block.
Kevin Kaser continues to serve. His team now leads 5-4 in this third set. The toss, the swing. Winters, Sparhawk, Sir into the block and straight back down. Goodness gracious. Good block by Aiden Williams in the middle.
The Rockets are now triple blocking against Glory Sir. They're expecting the ball to either go to him or Mason Winters, and they're not too far apart from each other, and so it's easy to put up that triple block.
Quick one in the middle, tossed gently across. Nicely done. There's a swing right down the line. Sparhawk got his hands up, but he couldn't handle it. And Gerhardt getting warm, getting quickly here.
So despite the Fighting Irish trying to put a bigger block in front of Gerhardt by bringing in John Wharton, 6'10" senior, still able to sneak that ball past.
Sir, bounce to the outside, off the touch and out of bounds. Glory Sir with a good swing, but it went out of bounds, and the timeout is taken on the floor by the Fighting Irish. They trail 8-4 in this all-important third set. I know you were a setter. I'm not setting you up with a softball here, but the reality is when you've got a freshman who's a setter, there are some inherent challenges. Of course, the arena is big. You're probably setting in a little different environment than you ever have before, and gosh, you're 14 years old. So not to take anything away from Dev Brickman, he's played very well, but it is very difficult for a freshman to manage a game of this magnitude.
True, and having upperclassmen above you that you really want to impress, you really want to do well for them. It is a lot of pressure, but what a fun opportunity to be a freshman and be able to learn in this environment. I mean, it really does come down to learning and staying positive and moving on. It's about staying composed, though. You can't break down. You can't lose that emotional stability as a team and as a culture. And both teams are doing great in that aspect right now.
St. Vincent-St. Mary's only losing 2 seniors, Mason Winters and Glory Sir, at least 2 seniors that play regularly. So that's the chance for them to continue to build their program. Good serve. Winters comes up with it. Trying to get a free ball across, and there's a confusion between 2 players. John Wharton and number 19, Moo Thaw. The ball falls between them. 9-4, McNicholas with the lead. Kevin Kaser on a nice little 7-0 scoring run. Sir with the reception. Back row set, Winters off the touch. Kaser keeps it alive. And they free it across after a little indecision. Sparhawk to the outside. Sir off the touch. Bumped by Kaser. Outside. Out of bounds, but they're looking for a touch. There is a touch. So the swing by number 4, Gavin Gerhard, off the touch. And so the scoring run continues for Kevin Kaser. He's now at 8 points in a row. He approaches and tosses. Winter. Sparhawk tosses it over. Kaser. Gundrum. And it can't be played. It looked like it was going to hit the scoreboard, and I think there was a little uncertainty from Moo Thaw because of that. As a result, he couldn't play it cleanly.
So if you have 3 contacts on your side. If you have contacts left and the ball were to hit the ceiling or anything above you and come down on your side, you can continue to play. But if the ball hits something above you and goes over, it's instantly called out of bounds. So there was some confusion about what was going to happen in that scenario.
There's a great finish by Jaden Jacobs off a good set by Sparhawk. So they break the run by Kaser of 9 scores in a row. It's 11-5. McNicholas on top. Big swing, big point. Gavin Gerhard swinging from everywhere.
Yeah, coming in for that crossing play, coming inside. And that's really hard, especially at the high school level. As a middle blocker or a blocker in general, you have to be really communicating on where your man is, where they're going. If it shifts into someone else's area, it now becomes their man. So there's a lot of communication involved.
An unforced error as Ben Jones serves it into the net. The ball comes back over to St. Vincent-St. Mary. Glory Sir will be the server for the Irish. They trail by 6, 12-6. They trail in the match, 2-0. Set to the outside. Gundrum. Outside again, Gundrum. Net violation called on number 3, Sparhawk for St. Vincent-St. Mary.
So we talked about earlier in this match that both teams had a pretty poor hitting percentage, but looking at it now, McNicholas is able to bring that hitting percentage up to .643, so they're doing much better in this set.
That serve goes out of bounds, so another service error by McNicholas. The Irish get it back. They trail by 6. Caw Hay steps to the serving line for the Irish. Hay with the high toss, and he's going to take a redo.
Now he only gets 1 of those, so he cannot do that again until the next time he rotates 6 rotations around and comes back to serve.
Big swing in the middle. Goodness gracious, Aiden Williams with a hit.
Yep, so he got a little excited after that one and threw a glare through the net. You have excitement. So the up referee is just warning him here that that's not how we handle that situation. If you're going to celebrate, you're going to turn to your teammates with your back to the net and celebrate. You don't get to do it through the net towards the other team.
Part of his punishment is he has to go to the back row. No, just kidding. He's in the back row because he's serving now. Glory Sir comes up with the ball, set to the outside, Winters. Good dig, back set, Gundrum, too strong. So side out back to the Irish. And to the serving line goes Nate Sparhawk. Sparhawk has been an effective hitter today. 5 kills in 12 attempts with only 1 error. He's also got 3 digs and a block. Here he's going to try to put a run together and get his team back into this. Instead, he hits it into the net. So a side out back to McNicholas, 15-8. The Rockets have the advantage. And number 15, Ethan Gundrum, goes to the serving line. High toss, big swing. Winter comes up with it. Big, it's over the net though, goodness gracious. Jay Clifton. That ball was too far and Clifton knew exactly what to do with it.
Those are the balls that middle blockers are drooling over. A set from the other team on an overpass. You go up with a high snap and the ball goes down to the floor pretty quick. Once again, getting the same set.
That one almost hit the scoreboard. Bump set by Kaser to the outside. Set back row. Glory Sir. Set to the near side. That's out of bounds, no touch. A miss hit by Carson Tierney.
The spike from Tierney was out of bounds. Number 21, Mason
16-9, McNicholas has the lead, and Mason Winters steps to the serving line for the Irish. Gerhardt, now Kaser. Free ball across, Winter. Sparhawk to the outside. Glory Sir off the touch and down. Should have mentioned this earlier, maybe we did, but Sparhawk has taken over the setting duties. We haven't seen much from Dev Brickman, so an opportunity perhaps to bring a little continuity and you know, if Sparhawk's got a little bit more experience, but he's not necessarily the guy that they go to every day, so it's going to be interesting to see what the net of this is.
Yeah, but the good thing is he's not scared to be offensive when he's in the front row.
True, yeah,
so we've seen him dump the ball or hit the ball. So I think he'll still get his kills, even though he's just the setter in the front row.
Jay Clifton with the kill there. 17-10, McNicholas with the lead. Good serve. Set to the back. Into the block, that's well done. Devontae Sheltonell gets the kill. We come back to the other side, and Muthaw steps to the serving line. The libero is a 5'9" sophomore. Division II, Region 6, All-Region honorable mention. Back set. No touch, and that's out of bounds. So an attack error puts the ball back in Muthaw's hands. His team now trails by 5, 17-12. That's going to be an overpass. Up and pounding it down. Glory Sir.
He really wanted to connect on that a little bit better. He hit it more off of his forearm than his actual hand, but still taking care of the job and putting the ball to the floor.
And no hesitation, which causes McNicholas to call a timeout. They lead by 4 in this third set. 17-13. They lead in the match 2-0. So they're wanting to put this away right now. And by right now, I mean the end of this third set. St. Vincent-St. Mary trying to continue to crawl back in. And we have seen teams come back from 2 sets down. We've seen teams come back certainly from a 4-point deficit.
I think both teams feel like this is an uneventful match for them. They really haven't done anything spectacular. But at the end of the day, it just comes down to points. I mean, a win is a win, a point is a point. And so it's important, A, that they get the ball and keep it in bounds, and B, keep it clean, especially when they're on defense, taking care of that first ball contact.
Out of the timeout, Muthaw back to the serving line. He serves off the tape, dug out by Tierney to the outside. And that's down Gavin Gerhardt.
And I respect that swing. It was kind of a half swing. It really wasn't his full potential, but he did find fingers. He caused a little bit of chaos, and that's a point on the scoreboard.
5-point lead, 18-13 for McNicholas, and Kevin Kaser serving. He had a 9-0 run earlier in this match. Set to the near side, Gerhardt up and down. What a set by Gundrum, who was tight to the net, and Gerhardt knew exactly what to do with it.
these benches are funny. They get off the bench when they score a point, and they do these dances and stuff, which I'm so glad the OHSAA and the officials are letting them do it. It's really fun to watch.
It's a lot of fun to play the game. It's a lot of fun to be here with all this on the line. Of course, you want to have a little bit of fun. There's 4 hits against McNicholas, so the ball comes back to the Irish. Got a substitution checking in for the Irish. Elijah Wilkins. Wilkins to the serving line. Skips forward, good serve. Tight to the net. Sparhawk hits it hard, but it's dug up. Trying to send one across, and they do. A little bit of a timing issue, but able to stay with it was Aiden Williams.
Yeah, the set was a little bit high. He was a little bit early, so hanging in the air long enough just to get a finger on it to do a tip is exactly what he did, and he sent it to that campfire area, which is the middle part of the court, which requires 5 people to communicate on who's going to play the ball.
Set to the outside, Glory Sir into the block and down. That was a big swing by the senior.
When you watch guys block, they duck their heads and then press over. And the reason they do that is their head is so high, it's over the net. They don't want to get hit in the face by the ball.
Tight at the net, tossed across. Set to the outside, Winter into the block. They try to keep it alive, they cannot do it. It hits the antenna. Winter hit it into the block, and over there was Gundrum, over there was Williams. And now McNicholas just needs 4 points to ensure that they will play tomorrow for a 2nd straight state championship. Off Winters, that's an ace.
Gavin Gerhardt, he's a threat in the front row. We talked about that. He's a threat out of the back row, and we love to see it when he serves like that from the service line.
22-15, timeout taken by the Irish. Here in set number 3, set number 1, it was McNicholas 25-19. They won set number 2, 25-22, and right now it's 22-15. If McNicholas wins this, of course, they move on and play tomorrow against either Macedonia, Nordonia, or Mount Vernon. Those 2 teams are coming up next, scheduled for 6 o'clock. It's 6 o'clock now, so it'll be 30 minutes following the conclusion of this matchup. Out of the timeout, the Rockets coming back onto the floor. The Irish already there.
McNicholas leads the 3rd set.
It'll be Gavin Gerhardt back at the serving line for McNicholas.
Serve for the Rockets, number 4.
He needs 3 points to secure victory in this one. Good toss. Glory Sir has it come off the front of his hands. That's another ace. McNicholas players doing push-ups over there. They do every time one of the players gets an ace. Gerhardt gives them the opportunity to do them twice in a row. 23-15. They did have the timeout to get their arms relaxed, though, before they had to do it again. Sir this time gets the dig. Quick one in the middle. Good swing. And the point goes to Jaden Jacobs. The side out back to the Irish. 23-16. McNicholas has the lead. Caw Hay goes to the serving line. Where's number 20? Skips forward, sends it out of bounds, and now it is set point for McNicholas. 24-16. And to do the honors will be number 3, Aiden Williams.
Point for the Rockets.
The McNicholas faithful on their feet, as is the entire bench. Williams skips forward, serves middle back. Sir comes up with it. Back row set. Serve. There's a set to the outside. Gundrum into the block and down. It's set number 3 and the match go to the Rockets of Cincinnati. Archbishop McNicholas, 25-16. 25-19, 25-22, 25-16 the final, and McNicholas will move on to face either Macedonia, Nordonia, or Mount Vernon, who plays next. And for this Irish team, of course, this is the third straight year that they've been here. Mason Winters is a guy that we've watched, and we've watched him play with class, even as he's grown up. And again, only 2 seniors on this Akron St. Vincent-St. Mary team, so the chance of them being back again, they don't rebuild, they kind of reload.
Yeah, they're a young team, so I expect them to kind of use this as motivation. I'm sure they're going to go in the locker room and say that they didn't play to their potential today, but they have the ability to get better and be back here. Where McNicholas is graduating 9 seniors. That's almost devastating when you're graduating that many seniors. So, their goal is tomorrow to take that trophy home for those 9 seniors.
And what better way to end a career than with back-to-back state championships, which is an opportunity, certainly not a foregone conclusion, for the Rockets of McNicholas. That'll do it for us in this matchup. If you'd like to join us for the 4th and final matchup of Nordonia versus Mount Vernon, it'll start about 30 minutes. The clock hasn't started in here yet, so 35 minutes. We hope you'll choose to join us then. Until then, Archbishop McNicholas gets the victory over St. Vincent-St. Mary this afternoon, 25-19, 25-22, 25-16, and they move on to tomorrow's state championship game. Until next time, for all of us at the OHSAA Radio Network and the NFHS Television Network, I'm Chris Solwecki. We'll see you next time.